Chill concrete beneath, pitch black darkness around, and then voices. Distorted, frantic whispers piercing through the silence. A cocktail of discomfort jolting me awake from the abyss of my death-like sleep. Morning, sunshine! In that fleeting moment of total blackness, the bitter truth of last night's mayhem slams into me like a truck. The assault on the Elysium, the countless near and final deaths, the absolute chaos of it all. Quietly, as to not rouse my cellmate nor alert those outside, I creep up the few stairs leading down to our cell and put my ear against the door.
Shouldn't have happened.
At least we agree on that.
You'll do well to...
Before I can catch another word, Callie rouses from her sleep and looks around, a little confused, blinking at me dazedly. I didn't think sleep could get worse than it did with my last backup haven. You holding up okay? I'm all good, thanks. I cannot say the same for Downtown Abbey out there, though. Think it's gonna bite us in the ass? You tell me. I slide over, freeing up some space for her by the door. She takes the hint, leaning in to press her ears against it, nose scrunched in full concentration.
You bask in your own authority, Ellen, blissfully ignorant, a damn epitome of why they call us the Ivory Tower.
Tread lightly, Sheriff. You're addressing your superior.
Superior? By what measure? Do you truly see yourself perch above us all, Ellen? Above those who met their final deaths under last night's moon? Payne's gone, Aisling is in torpor, Julia barely slipped through the jaws of what multi-headed beast, and many other found no such luck. This is the heavy toll for your lethargy. Tell me, how many times I suggest relocating Elysium?
Perhaps we should seek to de-escalate.
Spare me, Arturo, I want to hear it from her.
Hadir.
You've been so detached you don't even know. Had I not anticipated such a disaster, securing heavens and employing safety protocols in advance, where would we stand now?
The tension is like a thick fog, creeping under the door and enveloping both Callie and me, leaving behind a sour sting in the air.
This is what happened when you neglect to prepare. The dire outcome of inaction when action is crucial.
This disaster would have happened if you had simply done your job, had you stayed hidden, heeding my directive instead of meddling with mortal dangers.
A juvenile excuse matched with by equally as juvenile assessment. You were warned repeatedly that the mob with their pitchforks and torches wasn't idling the days away. Yet you ignored the matter, insisting on throwing bodies at the old clan instead of fortifying our lines. Ridiculous. Ever since the debacle with Callahan, you've been unraveling, Elaine, succumbing to stupor bit by bit with your harpy puppeteer blind to your decline.
How dare you?
Oh, just shut it, Arturo. It's common knowledge. Everyone and their sire's in on it.
A moment of silence descend upon the room. Hadir, the masquerade!
Spare me that old refrain. The masquerade ends when the dance floor is engulfed in flames.
And quelling those flames was your responsibility.
My role is to prevent the fires from igniting, or to douse it swiftly should it arise. Instead, under your command, I'm just a latecomer to damage control while you bash your head against the Tsimitsi wall.
You're well aware of your reason for prioritizing Veritra. We were gaining ground.
Were we, Elaine? Veritra remains unyielding, decimating our envoys, clinging to her ill-gotten domain like a killer whale, unapproachable. We're clueless about her motive and alliances. It's clear she's scheming, executing her plans quietly, yet so far, none have tangibly threatened our interest. Does this shadow play really outweigh gunfire on our streets?
Even from this distance, I can tell Panhard is thoroughly embarrassed.
Have we paid heed to the purge of the Thin Bloods, to the unaccounted kindreds that, beyond your circle, leads would have surfaced sooner. Larson's destruction was a glaring warning, ignored because you dismissed him as nothing more than a farce. And now the failures regarding the Veritra issue are mine to shoulder?
He scoffed slightly.
For weeks we've known our true adversary as was well organized. That alone should have set the alarms off. But the scales!
He started pacing, rapidly losing his composure.
Curse it, Elaine! We had Aaron Fletcher in our sights 2 full nights ahead. The evidence was compelling. The strategy laid bare. This catastrophe was avoidable.
Fletcher, the very notion sounds ludicrous.
I know, right? But when you really think about it...
The distinct snap and flare of a lighter igniting cuts through the tension of a momentary dramatic pause.
He's a charismatic multi-millionaire, totally ostracized by the public for his extremist beliefs, notorious for spotting the wildest shit. And the rumors about gun running? Spot on, according to what I've dug up. Plus, he's got his hands on some top-tier tech, which would certainly help in his obsessive hunt for the kindred. His deep pockets and sheer zealotry are what's keeping this whole circus afloat. Ludicrous as it sounds, the pieces align perfectly.
As the court's argument dies down for a brief while, Callie throws me a confused look. I cannot help but mirror it, even though I'm trying to look as put together and composed as always. Then a sudden clarity descends upon me. The influential mortal mentioned in the circulatory system documents. He's the head of the hunting group terrorizing New York. And it seems Callie has realized the same thing.
Pádraic, I think I just pieced together something major.
Aaron Fletcher is the influential mortal who's been buying arms from your sire.
Can't you even just pretend to be clueless? Like, oh, really, Callie?
Do tell. My brain's too damn small to connect the dots. I fight back a smile. It's good to see she's still reasonably high spirits, even if her humor just masks the fear. Apologies, it was just an instinctual response. Whatever, it's all bullshit no matter how you slice it. She falls mournfully quiet for a moment, as if unsure as to who she is anymore. Just when I'm about to offer some word of comfort, a burst of muffled noise breaks the silence, snapping us back to the moment. We both press closer to the door, straining our ears again. What do you propose, then? A booming thud signals Khadir's introduction to his fist to some innocent piece of local decor.
There's time for curtsy and a time for heads to roll. I call for the latter. We have to crush this mob, snap their pitchforks, and smother their torches, and for that to happen, Aaron Fletcher must die.
Pádraic's quiet surrender says it all, a tacit admission of loss. Just as I thought, the tides are shifting, and the new alignment of power is obvious to anyone with a shred of common sense. And with Payne out of the picture...
Valerie, mobilize our forces. Remind them that cautious is paramount. The streets are yet to be cleansed. And reach out to Torg.
Is that wise, Khadir? The potential fallout of the Anarchs turning on us seems disproportionate to the gang.
We've skirted around the edges of peace for far too long. I'm not taking chances. Besides, we need to put their allegiance to the test.
Speaking of which, we're currently hosting one in the basement, along with another matter needing attention. I'm sure our mediator would make for a fine messenger too, but we have to sort out the issue of his company.
Enough. You bring them here now. Understood, sir.
I straighten up when Kelly jerks away from the door as if burned. Shit, fuck! I reach out and put a hand on her shoulder, partly to comfort her, partly to keep her steady on her feet. Poor girl looks like she's completely in shambles. Still, she doesn't push me away. Take it easy, Callie. We'll get through this. Like hell, I'm royally screwed. You heard the fucking sheriff, right? I'm here. It doesn't matter. Fake till you make it, Callie. Easy, Callie. Don't let them see you're scared. It'll be all right. I'll be all right. All the times we dug up, we've got what it takes to shut them up. Trust me, just... I'm cut off by the screeching of the basement door opening. It's none other than my favorite lackey who pokes his head into the cell.
Lash out on him, that fucker! Who does he?
They're waiting for you upstairs. His eyes, when he looks at Callie, are so full of pity that she visibly sags when she notices it. Completely drained. I nod at the hound, both of us upholding the temporary ceasefire, and head out while Callie trails slowly behind me. The remnants of the once formidable Primogen Council stares us down as we approach the sheriff. Kadir is not as wild-eyed as he was last night, and he went on that rampage, but he still radiates this suffocating intensity, and the look he gives us both is filled to the brim with judgment. In one swift move, he picks up his scimitar from the rack, and Callie visibly flinches.
You're free to leave now, caitiff. I take it you lingered by the basement door long enough. Inform your barren friend of the course of action.
So that's how it's going to be. Pressing matters, remember. In a moment, I'm not done here. I intend to, but I would like to see this through. She was my responsibility, after all.
Very well.
Callie shrinks a little, eyes darting around like those of a prey animal. I want to reach out to comfort her again, but such a weak gesture wouldn't go well in the council's eyes. All I need is for them to consider me confident if my plan is going to work.
As you may have noticed, we're on the clock here, and I have little patience for your charades. You promised Castle head on a plate, and yet there we stand, empty-handed. At this juncture, any rat-nosed head would suffice to lift my spirits.
Wouldn't that be a sight worth seeing? Callie remains rooted to the spot when he places the blade against her neck. I smother the urge to step in.
Not yet, Fionn! One reason. Give me one good reason not to use it.
She glances at me, eyes filled with desperation, but her gaze is quickly captured by Kadir's. While they glare at each other silently, Kallie's face changes from terrified to pensive to unbelievably furious.
You knew! You knew the whole fucking time?
Not yet! But things are starting to get out of hand. Callie, listen.
Christ, how could I have been such an idiot? He's your rat, young raven.
She smacks Kadir's blade away from her neck, fangs bare at exceeding rage.
All this bullshit with Praxis, dragging the system into it, the arms dealing, you fuckers were in the loop the entire time, using me to draw Raynor out.
Arturo smirks at her sardonically. Julia gives a solitary, sarcastic clap.
Look at you, playing detective.
Kadir looks Callie over and then lowers his weapon down a notch.
I suppose there's little point in keeping this charade up, is there, Prince? Your further attempt to degrade my position are less than welcome.
Unfazed, Kadir speaks up again.
Indeed. Our strategy was to draw Castle out into the open, to unveil the target of his arms trade. His knack for evading trouble made him a challenging quarry. He had strong suspicions that he, wittingly or unwittingly, armed the mob that despoiled Elysium last night. Given the man's reputation, it's not far-fetched to assume that he would deal with the literal devil. But you're closer to him, make of that what you will.
Callie looks truly devastated, although her body is stiff with fury. Her shoulders still sag and lips turns downward. She briefly closes her eyes.
That's when you enter the picture. You choosing the caitiff as your caretaker was just a sweet cherry on top.
She bites her lower lip hard enough to spill it.
And for what? All for fucking nothing! Not quite. Your endeavor, though it might not have unfolded as intended, played a crucial role in cornering Aaron Fletcher, Castle notwithstanding. As of the other dismenier of your sires, they now pale in comparison. We have gathered it essential to douse the true inferno before us.
Now! Downplay her role, redirect his attention or deflect. Indeed, and that is why we should focus on the fire lest it consumes us whole. The sins of Callie's sire burn bright, that's true, but hers barely glimmer. She looks at me in disbelief. It's hard to watch, so I keep my eyes on Kadir. Transparency wasn't our forte with her, yet we've achieved our aim by leveraging her limitless naivete. I think it's time to release her. Trying to help you, Kali. Stop making that face, please. Kadir raises his blade again.
Knowingly or not, she was complicit in Kessel's schemes, including those that led to the assault that nearly spelled our end. In my eyes, that constitutes capital punishment.
I didn't!
Do what you must!
Almost inevitably, I take a step forward, placing myself firmly between Kali and Kadir's sharp blade. Ease off, Sheriff. Sheath your weapon. It's just misdirected aggression. Reserve its sting for the true culprits.
Perhaps you have a point, mediator.
It is not your time, Fion. Stand firm. Although the blade inches closer to my skin, I feel nothing. No fear, no anger, just serene clarity.
Kadir, cut this shit, please. Enough is enough. They were there for us last night.
Pain is transient. Speak. Look beyond your fury. Recognize Kali for what she truly is, a blind tool in the scheme of a seasoned manipulator. Her death achieves nothing. It won't deliver Castle into our hands. It won't rewind the past. It serves no purpose other than to satiate your thirst for carnage. We've lost too many. Put the anger to good use. Remember who you are. Why not feed yourself on punishing those who really deserve it? Kali remains paralyzed, twitching from time to time while seething in fury. She watches me carefully, and I don't know if she's so worried for herself or for me. Because the edge of Sheriff's scimitar is close to my neck. It's about to break the skin. Stand firm! Is mine or this stupid fledgling's end truly worth the fallout? Press on and see how Torque's cooperation become a distant dream. I can feel the pressure of the blade right against the dead aorta of the side of my neck, but I stand my ground, calm, collected, and confident. Enough, for fuck's sakes! I cut her off with a gesture. Silence, girl. Let me help you. Release her, Sheriff. Just let her go. And then Kadir actually does it. He lowers his weapon, his whole body shaking with anger. He's barely keeping in check.
Go, now!
Yet Kali doesn't move an inch. I can see her trying, struggling against invisible restraint of her own frozen mind, but before I can wake her up, Kadir bares his fangs once more.
Get out before I change my mind! And never show your face in New York ever again!
Kali stumbles from the abrupt drop to tension, looking at me searchingly. Let her go. I try to silently express regret, an apology, an explanation. We're both slaves to different masters, Kali. Some of us more than others. Some of us are hidden so much from the world. But you've told me yourself, what are we if not the secrets we keep? I don't know if she understands. Her face shuts off as she turns on her heel and storms out the building without looking back. I can see Julia grimacing in sympathy, but that is all the reaction the council decides to give. And Kadir's eyes are so cold and full of disdain they bore into mine.
You go now. Get to Torque and make him show up before I change his mind and make an example of why Caitiff are unwelcome in the domains of the Camarilla.
That seems to be my cue. I bow partly as a show of irony, partly to hide the relief that washes over my face, but I can't help but throw in my 2 cents as farewell. You are on the path to destruction, Sheriff Kadil Arasmai, and for you and everyone around you. It's not too late to change course. Kadir's chuckles tighten around the end of his scimitar, but their email remains silent. It's Arturo who tosses me a wry look. You forget yourself, O mediator. Your job isn't to stand in the way of the court. It is to mediate. So go and do just that. Kali is predictably long gone before I leave the temporary Elysium. I decide to head home, to the Bronx, but my journey is slow. I feel as if I was wading through a bog, barely putting one foot in front of the other. The voices in my head are screaming at me with little to no reprieve. I spin my ring until it grows hot with friction, which silence them for a while, but it never lasts long. They are, somehow, different this time. It's as if they can't make up their mind. That never happened before. Usually, although each of them is distinct, they carry the same message, push me towards the same urge, try to lead me astray, but not tonight. Tonight can barely catch what they are saying at all, weaved and knotted into an incomprehensible cacophony. I don't understand. What's happened? What's changed? Callie! Yes, Callie. I halt mid-step, looking blindly at the dim but colorful lights of the urban landscape. I guess we at least deserve a goodbye, don't we? I should find her. If only I knew where she would have gone. Her motorhome, Fionn! Isolated parking lot, the conversation, main quest. We all deserve our goodbye. Callie's motorhome seems like the most likely spot. I'll still have a chance to catch her before she flees New York City for good. The voice implies as much, at least. I managed to track Callie's RV down without any trouble, the voice leading me around like a dog on a leash. Still, I'll approach the car slowly, hesitantly. I have a feeling that the voice is just looking to get is looking for the is looking for the vial, because that's the only explanation. Like, for somehow the voice is related to Zapasatura. As for his sire, I think he killed himself, and the voice of the beast is actually, you know. So let me have a little snack before continuing. Basking on the vibe. Sorry. I managed to track Callie's VR. Okay, with the doors approach. Okay, I read that part already. I don't know what to tell her. Should probably start with an apology, but what then? It's not like I can truly divulge all the information she would request. Some things should remain secret, even to oneself. I'm an undead heartbeat away from just getting on with it, when a strange sound reaches my ears. Not bizarre, just unknown. There's someone else in the RV with Callie. I should probably go then. She doesn't owe goodbyes or me listening to my explanation, and eavesdropping is just rude. But I drop on my knees and silently creep closer. Yeah, so this is Castle. Laid the groundwork, but we might need to improvise. That's where you come in. A tone of voice, deceptively light, manipulative, downright vile. I need someone sharp, someone with a knack for thinking on the fly, someone who... Could it be? That's us, Callie. We'll dance around Veritra's thugs and snatch that vial right from under their nose. A flood of thought rushes through my brain so fast that I feel myself getting dizzy. What's going on? Why would Castle appear now of all things? Was he waiting after the attack on Elysium? Was he involved in it? So, what do you say? Did Callie know all along? No, that's preposterous. I have seen it. She was generally heartbroken by what we found out. And yet, I hope she at least was genuine, if stubborn, but maybe it was all a big, masterful con. It doesn't seem so. She's being quiet, faced with answering Reynard's questions. What does he want from her again? To join his heist? Castle laid the groundwork for something to trick Veritra's Stug. To get, yes, it's to get the vial, whatever that is, steal it right from under their noses. I remember Veritra saying that Castle's been working on some sort of delicate matters for her. It seems those matters matter not. Castle planned to dupe her. Oh, the irony. All he needs is Callie to play her part in his plan. Think about it, Callie. It's not about just doing the job. It's about proving we're the shit, fulfilling our true destiny. What an absolute asshole. But Callie keeps silence for a while. Don't be stupid, Callie. Think about it carefully. You know he's a crook. Listen to reason, Callie. So, you're in? What do you think, asshole? Inexplicit confirmation is it? It is. It seals the deal nonetheless. Castle seems to be getting to leave. Cloak of shadow, not a move. I freeze in place, staring wide-eyed at the door of the RV, perfectly invisible against his horrible paint job. Castles leaves the RV a good few minutes later, followed by a huge Doberman who sticks up to his leg like a blindly devoted glue. As they both disappear into the night, I wonder if Castle truly tricks the dog well or just groom it to behave like this. My depressive chains of thought soon is interrupted by Callie driving away in the RV. Stay or go? Stay. I am rooted on the spot, even though my whole being urges me to run after her. I'm just confused. I don't know what to think. Go, yes, lad, go, run, run. So what if I go? Stay, don't move, lad. Stay right here. Stay. So what if I stay? Do something. Easy, Fionn. Easy, all right. Calm down and think. The damning intel we dug up on Castle paints him in a rather inexcusably bad light. And reckless she might be, Callie is not naive, even though her sire seems to be one of her blind spots. That being said, though, why would she still follow Castle, given all that she knows by now? Hasn't she learned from past mistakes? Not to mention that any trouble stirred by Castle ultimately traces back to Veritra, by an unfortunate proxy, to me. What a mess. And it's all his damn fault. Or is it? It seems that Castle merely intends to interrupt the heist already put in motion by Veritra, and she is known for the shadiest of inclination throughout the whole spectrum of the vial. Can I really say she's any better than Castle? I shake my head to toss those stupid thoughts out of my head. What a silly question. I need to stop kidding myself. Veritra's the only one who has ever helped me get closer to understanding my voice. Even if she keeps withholding the information she owes me, she will. She definitely will. Last time I spoke with her, she seems to be quite adamant that whatever delicate matter Castle was attending to were crucial to her reaching some sort of state of higher being, and in turn, giving me the understanding I seek. Everything's coming down to that vial. Well, if making sure Veritra gets the vial means an end to my eternal tournament, I'm sure as hell I'm willing to pay the price for it. No matter what it is. No matter what it is! I straighten up and start walking towards the river. Veritra reeks to know about Castle's intention, and I'll be the one to tell her. Vowels she may be, she appreciates royalty above all else. I just hope Callie heeds reason and steers clear from her sire's path of self-destruction. Dangerous Liaison Part 3. Veritra's cruise ship. Veritra is the only one who has ever brought me closer to understanding my voice. It's well worth informing her that nefarious planet Raynor Castle has stored tomorrow. This is why they say that it's a decoy. They went for Central Park, okay. Vritras remained perfectly poised through my report, still like the sheet of a calm lake on a rigid winter's day. Only her eyes, as cold, black, alien as they come, burn with the scorching fire of hatred and fury. Finally, after a long, heavy silence, she suddenly whips her head around and points at the henchman who accosted Callie and me a couple of nights ago. He visibly shudders and shrinks as if struck. Gather Reynard's crew.
The same one you assigned him, mistress? But...
One glare is enough to send him scrambling away. The rest of the henchmen stands perfectly still and straight, as if the smallest movement could cost them their own lives. Knowing Vritra, it's a perfectly safe assumption that it will. What are you going to do? Now is my time to be on the receiving end of her piercing glare. I should stop talking. It's a shame I never learned how to do that. Let me be perfectly clear. Raynor Castle deserves whatever punishment you have in store for him, and more. But Callie is just another victim of his lies. I can talk some sense into her. Vritra silenced me with a curt gesture, her fan slicing the air like an axe. You must have mistaken me for someone who cares. If you truly want the answer you seek, you will stand back and do nothing. Do you understand, boy? There is nothing I can really do but nod in silent agreement. With a wave of her hand, our meeting is done, and I'm unceremoniously escorted out without another word. I stare into the dark waters, waiting for the rib to arrive, but all I can see is fog, slowly lifting from before my eyes. Snow falls softly, covering me up like an old statue, but I don't care. I don't know what to do. The question about my voice has been haunting me for over a century. Decades upon decades of desperately searching, first for a way to silence the cacophony in my head, then to understand why just one voice refuses to yield. Years wasted on the unknown, no clues, no knowledge, nothing. And now, when I'm so close to finally unraveling this mystery, when all the answers are just a mere inch out of my grasp, do I have what it takes to give it all just so that Callie could receive a warning? Will I gain anything of that aside from a false sense of decency to cover up the gnawing guilt? Tell her. No, lie. Forget about her. I cannot even be bothered to reach for my ring to chase my voices away. We are more important to that whelp, that runt, that girl. And my one voice is suspiciously silent. No. We need to help her. Whispers rattle around my head until I can't tell which are my own thoughts and which are the voices skittering around like rats in their cages. Hours, centuries, eons pass, and I remain without an answer.
Meanwhile,
Thomas Arturo, at the Hunter Assembly HQ. What? How much longer do you reckon he'll hold on? Aaron Fletcher? Oh, they caught Arthur. Okay, they caught Fletcher. His descent down the flagpole was rather swift. Just a tad more, and it will run him through completely. Pity. I wager it would last longer. It seems Aaron Fletcher didn't live up to be the spectacle he was touted to be.
Speak your mind, RP.
I'm merely trying to ensure that you're well, Sheriff. Your effort has been nothing short of exemplary. A masterful display of leadership indeed. We dispatched those hunters with remarkable efficiency. Just look at the mound of their fallen. It towers above both our heights combined. All achieved, no less, without the Anarch's help. Speaking of which, did our mediator even bother justifying their absence?
No, he didn't.
Oh, well, that certainly marks a dramatic finale to our truce, wouldn't you say?
Arturo, my patience has been wearing thin lately. Even thinner for sycophants. Speak plainly or get out of my sight.
Oh, see, this is precisely my point.
And what might that be?
Oh, I think you know. With Payne out of the picture and Panard's influence scraping the barrel, there stands no one, no kindred strong enough to challenge you now. Wouldn't you agree, Princess Kadir Alasmai? Of course. Arturo, too chicken to be prince himself. He likes to pull the strings from the sides because that's the role he likes playing the best. So he's gonna be rooting for Kadir to be the new prince. Wow. So yeah, Mia did a thing on Torque. So she's the new Baron. And Kadir, with the help of Arturo, basically, or just basically, he did nothing. He went and settled the problem of the Hunter Assembly HQ in one night. They just found him and they did a strike and they hit him hard. They killed everybody, that cell at least, that HQ. And they went for the leader and the leader was already killed. Interesting.